Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, we're going to give you some elite analysis. We got JJ, as always, joining us, and then we got a guest appearance from Austin's Props. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. We've missed by one leg on pretty much every primetime lay we've had. Last week, we even hit Atlanta money line, and we still fell one leg short with Jahan Dotson doing cardio the entire game. We're switching it up today. You guys will see what we're talking about at the end, but let's get into it. All right, Thursday Night Football, Week 3. We got Patriots versus Jets. It's going to be an ugly game, but it should be a close one. I'm excited. JJ, Austin, how we doing, boys?
We're doing pretty good, I think this is going to be battle of the ass tonight, not going to lie. What you thinking, Austin?
Hey, ass stays ass, but I'm excited to be here, man. First time on the YouTube in a while. Feels good to see both your guys' faces. And you never know. I think this could be a decent game. I have better vibes than I think most of the population does for this game. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it'll stay between like two scores the entire game, enough where like you keep the TV on, but it's definitely not going to be like a 35-25 type of air raid game, to say the least.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, we got a 38-point spread, so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we did. For those who are following us on Twitter, me and Austin already posted Jacoby Brissett pass attempts, which is going to be the ugliest sweat of the season. But if it's an air raid, that'd be awesome for that. But we got some injury news, and then we're going to break down some analysis, and we'll give you guys the parlay at the end. The biggest piece of injury news that I think a lot of people are going to overlook is the injuries to the Patriots offensive line. Ramondre Stevenson has obviously been great putting up stats to start the season. A lot of that has been because of the offensive line just going crazy. But we don't know if that's still going to happen considering some of the injuries. Everybody watched the Jets get ran through by the 49ers and Jordan Mason week 1. But they did a little better week 2 against the Titans. Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard were held under 3.5 yards per carry most of the game. I don't remember what Pollard finished with, but they held their own in week 2. So it'll be interesting to see which side of them shows up week 3, especially against a depleted Patriots offensive line. JJ, I know you're the running game magician, so I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be more like a man gap scheme, but regardless, with a depleted offensive line, like the whole left side of the line is out. So if he runs that way, it's not going to be good for him. So probably going to be focusing to the right, probably some screen passes to get something going, because it's going to be unpredictable. And the center is still questionable, but he was a limited participant on Wednesday, so we'll see how that goes. So it could just be missing 3 offensive linemen that are starting, and that's going to be very unpredictable there.
I mean, it's not realistic for them to just be like, yeah, we're going to run it to the right side every single time. I feel like the Jets got to pick up on that at some point.
Oh, yeah. But it's just like when you do run over there, it's probably going to get hit behind the line of scrimmage a lot. That's the only thing.
I remember when Austin, when we were watching week 1, because we were watching it here, we bet on 49ers receivers. We were just sitting there going, oh, the Jets just packed the box, stop the run. You know they're going to run it, stop them. Didn't work. Obviously, the day later, we look at the stats, and apparently they stacked the box more than anybody in the league. Austin, I know that was so annoying to watch, and it turns out that they were stacking the box, and they were just horrible.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. I feel like maybe they just don't have the personnel, which obviously doesn't help us. But I also think the Jets should try to, they have to all out stop this run. You have to force Jacoby Brissett to beat you. Their whole game plan has to be to stop this run. And I think with the injuries on the O-line, like we've mentioned, there's no way they're going to be as successful, as week 1 or week 2. You know what I mean? Adjustments are going to be made. We're going to start seeing it 3rd week of the year. That's kind of how I see the script.
Yep. I mean, like we said at the top, Ramondre's doing crazy stuff. The offensive line has looked great, but on a short week with injuries and a little bit more game planning, it's going to be interesting to see how things fall together. On the other side of the ball, they also want to run the ball with Breece Hall a bunch. Apparently, what's the name of the new guy in the mix? I forget his name. Braylon something.
Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Braden Allen. Apparently, he's been solid now, but I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting Breece Hall to not take the bulk of the workload. Outside of just the fact that Breece Hall is very good at football and they're going to continue to use him, I don't really have any other analysis to add on that side, unless you guys do.
I mean, Breece is still going to get his 20 touches a game minimum, but you can't ignore Braylon Allen. He's earned his right to at least get a few touches here and there. It's just you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yep. I think it's just gonna be they're gonna, instead of just relying on Aaron Rodgers and then be like, oh, we'll use Breece Hall when it fits. I think this offense is kind of adapted the other way, where it's like, hey, we're gonna use our running backs a lot and win there, and then use that to leverage the pass game and let Aaron Rodgers do his thing. And I think that's the better way to do it, considering we don't, like, obviously he looks healthy. We don't really know how healthy. It's still technically a new team for him. He didn't have many preseason games to get going with the team. And the other thing that I really like with Breece Hall is the checkdowns, because the Patriots run a lot of cover 2, and Aaron Rodgers already has the second highest checkdown rate in the league right now. Despite having almost no design runs to the running backs against them, the Patriots are still allowing some of the highest targets per route run to running backs. So now you get a team that actually runs design plays to the running backs. It just feels like you could go 5, 6, 7, 8 catches, and I would not be surprised in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, with this team, I mean, Aaron Rodgers does not look confident throwing the ball down the field, and I think that is a problem, and it has led to more like design plays to Breece Hall. I think that will continue this week because I don't know, he's Garrett Wilson has been open downfield, and he's just not pulling the trigger for some reason. It's similar to Justin Fields. That's been my problem with him the last couple of years. He just doesn't pull the trigger when it's there. And Aaron Rodgers is doing the same exact thing right now. I don't know. Maybe the age is just catching up to him.
Maybe he's still playing on the perks.
Yeah,
Hey,
you have to assume this Jets offense is going to produce eventually. And you know what I mean? I think we'll see some progression of the offense. I like all their wide receivers they have. Obviously, they brought them in for a reason. I think they have a good trio with Lazard, Williams, and Wilson. So I know it's a matter of time for me that where Rodgers has a huge game. You know, I don't know if it's this week, but the weapons are there. Like, this team's talented. They have a great running back in the receiving game as well. Like, Rodgers is going to have a big week eventually, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big Mike, I don't remember what route percentage he had in week 1, but it was real low. Week 2 went up to 72%. We see him on the field a little bit more week 3, even though it's a short week. People might be remembering who Mike Williams is coming from the Chargers.
I appreciate you saying that, because I hope that's the case.
I got you. I think his line, what was his line, Austin? What did you get him at?
It opened at 22.5. I got it at 23.5. I still like it. It's 24.5 now. I would probably play it up to 25.5 personally. I think he's going to get 2 grabs to cover this line.
I mean, 22.5 is what, 1 reception for the guy? Knowing the type of player he is, that's one downfield reception, maybe 2.
And he's avoiding Gonzalez. He's not going to probably see Gonzalez. He's going to, I would assume, shadow Wilson.
I mean, if he touches 70% again, that line is absolutely ridiculous, especially considering I know we talked about the Patriots running a lot of cover 2. Their other coverage that they run a lot of is cover 1. So for an outside receiver, that's big time for him.
And then did you see what Mike Williams said? He said, like, hey, man, I'm feeling 100%. Like, I felt good. I was supposed to be he basically said, like, he was supposed to be on a snap tracker, like 25 to 30 snaps. But he said that he talked with the coaches and said, like, hey, this feels great. Like, let's keep rolling and see where I'm at. And he said he felt great after the game. No setbacks, nothing. So that kind of makes me feel confident in this line. And the fact that Lazard stuff is a little lower than it has been kind of leans that I think they're going to start seeing Lazard's role diminish a little. Obviously, he's still going to be involved, but
yeah, I mean, there's definitely a world where as long as he's getting snaps, he could do, or not surprise people because everybody knows he's good, but just be like, hey guys, I'm still here, because there's a lot of people that kind of forgot that he went to the Jets. So this would be a primetime game, could be a nice reminder.
Definitely. I mean, so what we got for coverages here, the two main things for each team. One thing for the Jets that they run above league average is going to be cover 4. And then for the Patriots, above league average is going to be cover 2. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of cover 1 in this game from both teams because they do both run a lot of cover 1. But specifically the Jets, I think they're going to run a lot of cover 1 against the Patriots, as a lot of teams have done so far through week 1 and week 2. Especially they don't have a single receiver that's like a true wide receiver 1. They're going to test those receivers and see if they can beat them one-on-one. And that'll probably allow them to blitz a lot and get a lot more pressure on the quarterback. And I think that's going to be a problem for the Patriots. So probably a lot of quick passes here. What you thinking?
You know exactly what I was thinking. If they're running a lot of man coverage right now, a lot of things that's been circling around Twitter right now is Jalen Polk's route running has been really good through 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he hasn't been the highest targeted player, I think it's been KJ Osborne up to this point as far as receivers. If they're running a lot of cover 1, it's not good for the tight ends as much, which is Hunter Henry. I think they'll run enough cover 4 where it won't matter for Henry to get his work. But on the cover 1 side, Hunter Henry's probably going to be facing some trouble against that coverage. Running backs don't do well against cover 1, so that's not good for Ramondre Stevenson. So you're giving me Polk, KJ Osborne, and Demario Douglas. Usually whoever is just the best route runner and who gets open is going to be the one who gets the ball against man coverage. And if Polk's the best route runner, it's going to be him. So if we get 1 or 2 big plays out of Polk from those cover 1 formations, I think anybody who's been paying attention won't be surprised. Anybody who hasn't will be like, yo, who is this guy? And then they'll be surprised.
They're going to learn. I'm big on him. I think he's shown great film through weeks 1 and 2. Obviously, the result might not be where he wants it, but the route running looks good. I'm super excited for this game. I'll be brutally honest. I think there's a lot of stuff we can learn from both these teams, and I think both teams have kind of not done what I expected them to do through weeks 1 and 2. You know, I thought New York would look a little bit better, and I didn't think New England would move the offense like they have been, like just with the clock and getting first downs and stuff like that. So I'm interested for this game personally.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think if Aaron Rodgers can play like 80% of what he was before the injury, I think they're a sleeper contender to make a run in the playoffs. But JJ, like you said, he's been missing a lot of the cues that he normally gets. So Austin, you're absolutely right to be like, yeah, we're going to learn a lot about these teams probably this week, even though it's early in the season. But yeah. All right, let's get to the parlay. We got anything else I'm missing out on?
You know, these people want the parlay. Just give it to them.
All right, let's do it. So for those who've been watching, we've been doing these long shots. Plus 500 has been the lowest, but we've gone as high as plus 2,200. We've come so close on every single one. Outside of that bullshit Bills-Miami blowout, we've come 1 leg short. So we're going to get one under our belt. We're going to play a little safer. We're going 3 legs plus 110. The first one, Breece Hall, 3 receptions. Like we said, the offense is pretty much going through him. The cover 2 formation is beautiful for Breece Hall, and they're running a lot of design plays for him. Breece Hall, 3 receptions. I have zero doubt in my mind that's probably the easiest leg. The next one, Hunter Henry, 3 receptions. Guys, how many targets did he have last game? Was it 12?
8 of 12, yeah. 8 receptions on 12 targets.
Yeah, and you're telling me he's not going to get 3 today against a defense that's going to run a bunch of cover 4 whenever they're not in man coverage? Tight ends love cover 4. Hunter Henry's getting 3 receptions. That's another easy one. Now, the sweatiest play of the parlay, but it correlates with Hunter Henry really well. It's going to be Jacoby Brissett, 25 pass attempts. Through 2 weeks, he's at 24 and 27. But with the offensive line injured, they're not going to get the run game going as much. They're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. And they're 6-point dogs. They're probably going to be losing a little bit. So 25 points should be light work. I don't think we understand just how low 25 pass attempts is. So those are the 3 plays. Lock it in. Plus 110 on ESPN Bet. I think some books might not be able to construct this exact one. You can ask in the comments if you want to ask about a specific way where they have different lines. But let us know. Lock it in if you can. Let's have a great day. JJ, always good to see you, my man. Austin, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, this is not the last time everybody gets to see you. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.